Hey guys, H3 Tank Engine here. Today I'm going to be doing something really fun, explaining the Iceberg for Timothy and Friends. I've always wanted to do one of these, but I wasn't sure how icebergs worked until I asked some people. Now that I knew what icebergs meant, I decided to do one of my own. This was inspired by Mr. the Hedgehog's iceberg, so I'm going to explain what each entry in the iceberg represents. So as the list goes down, the facts become more obscure. Railway series, TV mashup, but in a different timeline. So basically, the timeline of Timothy and Friends mashes up events from both the Railway series and the TV series, but it takes place in a completely different timeline. Basically, it takes place in the 21st century. Paper models, Roblox, and trains. So these are the things I used to film scenes for the series. I used paper models and Roblox to film the scenes needed. I also have a friend named Alexander Misria who films scenes in trains for me when I need him to. And I also want to point out, the models for Thomas, Timothy, and Percy are toys, not paper models. Timothy's Trans. This one is self-explanatory. Timothy's Trans and Timothy and Friends. This was an idea I came up with. Epic crossover. This one is also self-explanatory. This series is a huge crossover between many franchises that I like. Famous Thomas fandom voice actors. I have some famous Thomas fandom voice actors in my series, such as Starfall 3, Enterprising Engine 93, CuteYoshiLover, and some others. Theos like. So the series is going to be like The Adventures on Sodor, made by Mr. the Hedgehog. It will be epic and comedic, and will have character interactions just like Theos. Other popular movies and episodes from shows are canon. What this entry means is, there are other films from other franchises, such as the Cars films, the Despicable Me films, and some episodes from certain shows are canon to Timothy and Friends. Becca Chang is a main character. Becca Chang is a supporting character in the show The Casa Grandes. In this series, she's a main character. This is due to my fascination with her. Planned spin-offs and specials. I have many planned spin-offs and specials for Timothy and Friends, such as The Crazy War, AVL, and Virginia Scenic Railway. I will also be doing Halloween and Christmas specials, though they will not be part of the phases but are still canon. Timothy and Thomas swapped roles. What this means is that Timothy and Thomas swapped roles in terms of the place of brothers. Thomas is the more older one, and Timothy is the younger one. Villains from other fandoms portrayed as good guys. Villains from other shows and movies are portrayed as good guys in my series, such as Hacker from Cyber Chase, Dr. Heinz Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb, Diesel from Thomas and Friends, and a few others. Demons. This one is referring to the Halloween special I made this year. This one is canon to the series, and is my first good quality video. Characters who weren't originally married are married in this AU. What this entry means is that characters who weren't married, like Lightning McQueen and Sally Carrera for example, are married in this AU. Reused jokes from other shows. There will be reused jokes from other shows and other media, like Family Guy for example. In fact, remember that Where's My Money gag in Season 1? I'm planning to redo it again, but with Kooky and Heinz. Timothy and Friends Wiki. There's a wiki for the series. I'll post a link in the description. Known main protagonist and antagonist. Basically, the main characters and villains are known based on these images. Previously used AI voices. I used to use AI voices in my previous episodes, but after I got Enterprising Engine 93 to voice act, I decided to get voice actors due to him not being comfortable with working with AI voices. And EE93, if you're watching this, I want to give a huge thank you. This was a really good move, as working with voice actors actually has a lot of benefits. So thank you EE93, Chrissy Thomas and Sid Chang's new looks. So basically, I gave new looks to Chrissy Thomas and Sid Chang for the cinematic universe. Timothy and Friends Shed 17. This is referring to a poorly made film that kickstarted Timothy and Friends. It was poorly made and I want to redo it again someday. Seasons 1 and 2. Basically, Seasons 1 and 2 are canon to the Timothy and Friends cinematic universe, but since I look back on them poorly, I really don't recommend watching them. I'll post a timeline to explain everything. Timothy, Sid, and Webby were intended to be the main characters. Originally, an idea for the series was that Timothy, Sid, and Webby were going to be the main characters of the series. This is evident based on these images. But times change. Huge plans for Sid Chang. This is a poster I made for a story arc focusing on Sid, which is called Sid's Epic Story. It will be emotional, heartwarming, and epic. At least that's what I think. This will be explored sometime in the future. Engines can age and act like humans. This one is self-explanatory. The engines have human lives and can even act like them. Their lifespan is the same as a human's. 2 deleted episodes from Season 2. There were 2 episodes for Season 2 that were planned but were cut. One was due to how poorly made it was, and the other for a very good reason. H is Indian. Basically what this means is, H, my trained Sona, is Indian, which means I'm Indian. References to other Thomas content. There will be references to other Thomas content in the series. Ripped off content in Season 1 and Season 2. Yeah, Season 1 and Season 2 had some content ripped off from Mr. A the Hedgehog, Thomas 1 Edward 2 Henry 3, and some others. I apologize for that. I was inexperienced back then. Scrap story ideas. There were many story ideas I had considered but scrapped later on. I will share these as the series goes on. Loudhouse and Gravity Falls characters with eye colors. So basically, instead of having the usual black eyes, Loudhouse and Gravity Falls characters will have eye colors, as shown here. But not Family Guy characters or regular show characters, just Loudhouse and Gravity Falls characters. I just thought it would look cool. Inspired by other fan-made Thomas content. Basically, Mr. A the Hedgehog isn't the only source of inspiration. I'm inspired by other people, such as Thomas 1 Edward 2 Henry 3, for example. Cancelled OCs. So basically, I had some OCs that were planned to be in the series, but were cancelled. I think I had 2 OCs that were planned to be in the series, and I was also planning to use other OCs from other people, but decided against that because it felt wrong too. Planned voice actors or removed cast members. So basically, there were some voice actors planned to be in my series, and some voice actors who were removed from the cast. Arry and Bert were meant to be killed off. One early idea I had for the series was that Arry and Bert would be killed off, but I decided against it. The drawing you see here came from Aurora Knight 100, who has Arry and Bert killed off in his AU. Deleted content. There's going to be some deleted scenes from my series, which I will share, if I have any to share, but that's all I'll say. Overarching villain. So basically, there's an overarching villain for my series, who will be revealed at the very end. Chaos happen only on Soto or when Soto characters are involved. This one is self-explanatory. Chaos only happen on Soto or when Soto characters are involved. Lenny and Ronnie Ann were going to have the ability to turn into animals. So originally, I wanted Lenny, Ronnie Ann, and Maple Pines to have the ability to turn into animals, as seen by this image. But I decided to reduce it to only Maple, as I felt like the other 2 were just pointless. Timothy and Friends was almost similar to Stories of Sodor. An early version of the show was similar to Stories of Sodor, made by Victor Tanzik. Different versions of a crossover series. Before Timothy and Friends was made, I had a bunch of ideas for a crossover series in my head for years. Multiverse. There's going to be a multiverse in Timothy and Friends. Story ideas based on ideas I had before Timothy and Friends was created. So what this means is, there were many story ideas that I made up before that I plan to use in my series. Scrapped mini-series focusing on the Russian-Ukraine war. So originally there was going to be a mini-series focusing on the Russian and Ukraine war, but I scrapped it. And honestly, I think that was a good thing. I don't know how to write war stories yet. Well, that's all the entries from the Iceberg. So I hope you enjoyed this lore video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!